Do we really need two kidneys to survive? I mean, apart from some other organs that we have in pairs, like your eyes, your ears, the hands and legs, there are some other amazing organs that are single. They are doing a very good job in the body. Talk about your brain, you just have one and it's doing pretty well. Your heart is one and then it's very, very good. There are a good number of them. And so, if we really need two kidneys to survive, what happens when one gets faulty? Of course, there are cases where some procedures will have to be carried out in someone to remove one because something has started going bad in them. And there are other rare cases where someone can be born with one kidney, a situation called unilateral renal agenesis. There are some other cases where two kidneys can be present, but it's only one that is functioning. How do these people survive? And does it mean that these people are not going to live a normal life? And if so, if they're actually going to live a normal life, why then do we need two kidneys? Anyone could just have one kidney and then you are okay with that. But then I remember what happened sometime that I got injured in one of my legs and then almost became impossible for me to move about. It was terrible. And that got me thinking, how exactly do people who have one of the organs, like people who are supposed to have two organs, like the kidney, and then one of them develops a fault, how do these people cope? Because it was almost impossible for me to move about. And these are some of the questions that kept popping up in my mind the time my biology teacher introduced excretory system. Of course, that has a lot to do with kidneys and how they remove waste product and all that. But then I couldn't muster out the courage to ask some of these questions until much later in medical school when I understood better. And so for us to answer this, it's good we first of all understand how the kidneys work in human body and then get to see our chances with all these cases. That will help us a lot. So all you have to do now is to pay attention to this video and make sure you watch to the end. And if you're new to my channel, just a little thing, just one thing you need to do, make sure you subscribe before leaving so that you have a lifetime access to all my videos. Okay, so what exactly do the kidneys do? Some people look at it like some kind of urine making stuff in the body, but that's just one part of the jobs they do. Among all the things they do to keep us alive and keep us healthy, that's just one part of it. You see those organs in your body that look like beans, they filter thousands of milliliters of blood, and each kidney contains about 1 million filtering units known as nephrons. These are the ones that determine what remains in the body and what goes out as waste. You see, they are doing a very good job. But apart from that, they do other things in the body. They help to regulate water balance and acid base balance. So you see how amazing that is. They also control your blood pressure. They also help to produce some essential biochemicals which your body needs. Things like prostaglandin, aldosterone, renin, and erythropoietin. All these things are made by the kidneys, and they also help to regulate your electrolytes and some other vital minerals. So it would be very, very unfair for you to conclude that kidneys are just some urine makers. That would be very, very unfair. Instead, you cannot see from all the things we have mentioned that they are just a lifesaver. They are just a lifesaver. But then, how do the kidneys now make urine? Okay, the best way to understand this is to remember that blood flows to the kidney through what is called renal arteries. So once in the kidneys, the blood has to go through some tiny, tiny filters called nephrons. So it's these ones that now filter the blood and remove excess weight, excess water, and some other things that are not needed by the body. So it's pretty much like the way you filter your starch to remove the chaff from every other thing that is not wanted. That's how it is. And to show you how more amazing the kidneys are, they don't just throw away everything they filter out. No, they don't do that. They carefully look through all the things they filter out and select the ones that your body still needs and reabsorb them back into the bloodstream. And then other ones like the excess water, waste products, and some toxins that are not needed by your body are now mixed together and removed as urine through the urinary tract. Now, what happens when someone has one kidney? The truth remains that somebody can actually survive with one healthy kidney, although there are chances of there's going to be a higher risk of developing some kidney problems depending on the workload, and there are also higher chances of leakages like protein leakages and some other substances that can leak out, and there can also be things like high blood pressure occurring more than it should. But someone can just fare well with just one kidney, and this is made possible because a single healthy kidney also retains a functional capacity to carry out some life processes to make someone survive without breaking down. So what happens is when someone has one kidney, there is what is called compensatory hypertrophy that will happen with the remaining kidney. That's just like the kidney will have to increase in size and in functional capacity to accommodate all the jobs that are supposed to be done by two kidneys. So it's pretty much like when your colleague doesn't show up, you now have to sit up to do some harder work, to work extra time to balance all the things that you two have to do together just because you did not show up. And then most times this should be able to carry you all the time. This should be able to carry the body for most of the time. So with this one functioning like this, someone will just have to survive by that. But then, if this is the case, why then do we need two kidneys? Because since one is working, why then do we need two kidneys? One of the biggest benefits we get is functional efficiency. So look at it this way. Now your colleague finally comes back. It makes things easier. You now have all the things shared out. The work becomes faster, easier, more efficient. That's exactly what happens with two kidneys. So even though one can perform the job, when you have to, it becomes almost 100% more efficient. Although this does not entirely remove the chances of someone developing kidney problems if you don't take care of them, this should be able to add some additional filtering capacity to the one you have. And secondly, another benefit of having two kidneys is functional reserve. Think about it this way. Someone who has just one kidney has a lot to worry about. And even though one can still sustain it, but should anything happen to that, let's not just go there. Now, what if two of them stops working or becomes faulty? Hmm. Anyway, God forbid bad thing. But if that happens, it means that excess weight and excess water will begin to accumulate in the body, and that's going to be very, very hazardous. If all of them stops, it means that all these functions that are being taken, that are being carried out by the kidney, will cease to function. And many of those things, those processes that are being supported by this function, will cease to exist. And in many cases, the person will need what is called dialysis. It's a medical procedure whereby your blood will have to be passed through a machine where filtration will happen and then return back into your body. So it's not an easy process. And in many cases, this can help someone to live some normal life, although there's no way dialysis can actually replace the functions of a natural kidney. But at least this can help someone to survive for a certain period of time, pending what doctor determines as the next course of action. But in some cases, such person may need kidney transplant, and that is why taking care of your kidney becomes very, very important. And so, coming back to our question, do we really need two kidneys to survive? Yes, we really need two kidneys for maximum performance. We need it for maximum filtration. We need it for maximum excretion of waste products. We need it for maximum regulation of water and acid-base balance. We need it for maximum synthesis of some biochemicals that your body needs. However, just like we stated before, that your body can still survive with one healthy kidney. So it therefore means that while one healthy kidney can sustain someone and live for a while, it is very, very important you take care of your kidneys as much as possible, whether you have one, whether you have two, whatever number you have. So by next week, we're going to start looking at all the things that can affect the functions of the kidney. And starting with that, we're going to look at properly what is called kidney stones. And this is a video you shouldn't miss for anything. Make sure you keep a date with us to watch that video. And make sure you share this so that other people can get educated too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next.